Hey you guys, it's Ashley here, and I wanted to take a few minutes today to share a story with you guys. I was talking with a friend, and I shared the story that I'm about to share with you guys, and she was like, you have to tell people because it's so cool to see how you can interact with spirit in a number of ways. And I really like this story because I just love connecting with spirit and with Archangel Michael in particular. This is a story about how I kind of got introduced to him. This was way before I knew even anything about channeling or anything of the kind. I was in high school. I was 17 and I don't know, I had randomly found a pendant in front of my parents' house where I grew up, and it was a bronze pendant, and it had Archangel Michael on one side and St.Christopher on the other side. And for whatever reason, it just like really hit home to me that I found this pendant, that this pendant was in front of my house, which is on a really quiet street. Not very many people drive by, let alone drop pendants of that nature just randomly on the side of the road. So I really took it to heart. It really meant a lot to me that I had found that pendant, and I put it on some leather cord. It was like it wasn't really leather, it was like a rope cord that was waxed over. It was really popular. It's still really popular when making like little cord bracelets or whatnot. I'm totally blanking as to what it's called, I don't know why, but it was just some cord, and I tied it in a knot in the back, and it stayed around my neck for literally like 2 years. I wore it all the time. I never left it. I graduated with it on. I didn't take it off. I wore it everywhere, and it just made me feel really safe and comfortable. And I also wore it when I went, I studied abroad in Tanzania for a bit. That was really amazing. It was a beautiful experience. And when I went there, I was really scared just because I had never traveled anywhere before. It was like my first plane ride, my first trip out of the country, my first everything in regards to travel by myself. And I was kind of freaking out, and I had that pendant, and it really made me feel more safe and secure. And it made me feel good knowing that I had both St. Christopher and Archangel Michael with me. And I never grew up as like a religious person like that. I didn't really think too much about angels or too much about the saints or spirit, really. I had a lot of other experiences when I was little that were definitely paranormal, but I never really thought about it too much. And yeah, anyway, I had this pendant, and I knew that if I called on the Archangel Michael, he would come in and protect me. And whenever I felt unsafe on my trips, or when I moved to Portland right after high school, so I grew up in Oregon, so I moved to Portland for college, and I had that with me. And whenever I felt unsure or nervous, I would always call on him. And I didn't really know, I knew what it meant, and I knew that when I did that, I felt better. Immediately after, I felt more calm and secure and protected. But I didn't really know outside of that what that really meant to me, and how I was using the power of connecting with spirit to make me safe and secure, and actually calling on Archangel Michael, actually calling on him, and him showing up and helping me. And yeah, I was just kind of reminiscing about that experience, and now that I have learned how to channel, and I've channeled Archangel Michael several times on my YouTube channel, in my Facebook group, Channeling with Love, for friends and family. He shows up a lot in client readings and healings, and so he's all around. He's here with me all the time. And it was just really amazing how I was introduced to him in that fashion before I ever knew anything about mediumship or channeling or healings or anything. And so yeah, I wanted to share that story just to kind of highlight the fact that Spirit can come in really cool, interesting, different ways, but always listening to your gut instinct and knowing when to reach out. Know when you ask for help that they're going to be there to help you, and that you're never alone. And I think since I found that pendant and I kind of started asking for that support, it's really helped me a lot, just in my experience, just going through life outside of channeling. It's just been really important to me to be able to do that. And I know a lot of people do that regularly throughout various different religions, or if you're just if you're a spiritual person and you just want to connect or reach out, they're always there. And yeah, it's just super cool, and I thought I'd share that story. I actually ended up giving my pendant away to a family member who really needed it much more than I did by that point. By that point, I was pretty secure in knowing that I didn't need a pendant to be able to call on Archangel Michael or to feel his presence or to be safe and comforted. And so I gave my pendant to my family member so that they could connect and feel that protection and that love and that guidance when they needed it. So since then, I've actually replaced my pendant. I had a really hard time finding a pendant that matched at least some semblance of the description of what I found. There are very few, at least that I could find, pendants that had Archangel Michael on one side and St.Christopher on the other side. And so I finally did get a chance to replace it, and here's the pendant that I have. I'm hoping that this will focus in. Oh, there we go. So that's Archangel Michael on that side, and then here is St. Christopher on this side. Boom, right there. And I love this pendant. It's like heavy duty silver, and it's just beautiful, or silver coated or plated, whatever that's called. But I kind of miss my bronze one because it was clear, just bronze through and through. But the pictures were the same. They were just a little different details and whatnot. The original didn't have as many clouds in the background behind Michael. So if I can do this. This one has quite a lot of detail. Boom. Quite a lot of detail in that. But yeah, so I wanted to share that because it was, to me, it felt at the time a very weird happenstance thing that I just found this pendant and connected to Archangel Michael. But I know that that's not really the case. It was divine timing, and it was important for me to feel comfortable with him and to call on him as I needed him throughout my life. And that pendant was really not the permission, I'd say, but kind of the physical prompting, or I guess the invitation to call on him and to ask him for guidance and support and protection. So I just feel really blessed to have finally kind of put the pieces together in my own little story and recognized that Archangel Michael has been with me for most of my life, and been around a lot more than I have thought since I started channeling. So I wanted to just share that, and I hope you guys too have the chance to just kind of reflect and see how has Spirit, it may look similar, like a random situation, or you may have had a lot of other experiences, but how has Spirit kind of manifested in your life, and how do you interact with Spirit, and what is that saying to you, and how is that helping you in your life, and how can you connect with that more? So I hope you get a chance to do that. I love doing those types of exercises, especially in like mediumship classes, or when we're really looking at technique and building our confidence in our channeling abilities. Kristen Davies and I have a mediumship class, a Mediumship 102 class coming up, as well as the beginner's course coming up in September, I believe. I'll put the links in the details for sure. If you're interested in building your own communication style and technique, learning technique, feel free to check those out. But yeah, I love talking about this type of stuff and just marveling at the amazing what seems like coincidence situations in my life that I'm now seeing were really driving me to this point of where I am in my current spiritual practice and in my life. So it's always just fun. I'm a person who likes to reflect. But anyway, thank you guys for your time, and I hope you enjoyed that little story. And share your stories in the comments below. I'd love to hear about how you've maybe first got introduced to Archangel Michael or any other being that you're really connected with. That would be super fascinating and really fun to get to hear of. So let me know, and have a good day, guys. Bye.